Hello, I am going to be doing a quick demo on how to make a faceless mask. In this case, this mask is specifically for Renee Montoya's question. You could definitely use it for Vic Sage as well, though it's much more successful as a Renee mask simply because of the elastic band. And well, it depends, on how well your hair can cover it. Specifically for Renee Montoya, because she does have long hair, and you can use it with your hair let down or your hair tied up. As long as your hair is black and the string is black, you should generally be fine, right? So I'll just tell you what you need. First, you need a mask. I'm specifically using like a phantom full face half mask, right, with an elastic band. This is the easiest in terms of I would say to make as well as to wear, because you don't need to glue it onto your face and you can take it off whenever you want. The second thing you need is spandex. I specifically like to use spandex because it's very opaque. You don't have to layer it because one layer is enough, and it stretches basically. The second thing you need, so yeah, spandex. I got this. This is like a camisole, right? Or like a tube, I guess, from Walmart, $10. If you search a bit, you could probably find something cheaper, but it can be a bit difficult. Um, don't get anything shiny because it does need to look like it will blend into your skin tone. So it might be a bit difficult. This specifically doesn't actually match my skin tone, right? As you can tell, but when you put the clothes on, you put the fedora on, and it's framed by your hair, you can't really tell the difference. Then you need glue. I usually like to use a hot glue gun because it's quick, but in this case, I'm using tacky glue because any glue that will attach two different materials together will be fine. Uh, and I actually have a little bit of a demo inside here, tacky glue. The only problem with tacky glue is that it takes a while, so just take your time. All right, this is going to. So the first thing you need to do with your mask, I will say that you do need to be careful. Take your spandex and put it over the mask and stretch the fabric out to make sure that the holes are not visible, because that is definitely the last thing you want. If the holes are visible, paint it black. Which is what I did previously. My spandex this time around is a bit thicker, so I don't actually need to paint it back black. Second thing you need to do is, as you can tell, they only have eye holes and like 2 nose holes, because this mask was geared towards masquerades and Venetian style. What you want to do is you want to cut a big hole here and a big hole where the mouth is to make it easier to breathe. So we're going to do that right now. Don't worry if the holes aren't perfect. It makes no difference. Okay, somewhat creepy, but yeah. So just feel around for it, make sure that it suits well to your face, and cover it up a bit. And cover it up with your hand a little bit, and get a good feel. The bigger the holes are, the better. That's a general rule. So I'm gonna widen mine a bit more. So yeah, this looks about good. Once again, you can make it as big as you need. Just be aware that you just want the contours. So if you do the profile, you can already see there's like a lip contour there, so that's fine. Okay, so now the holes have been cut out. The next step basically is to get the spandex. Don't cut the spandex yet. Get a good piece, long piece, which has as little stitching as possible, right? Stretch it out as much as you can. So spandex can take a beating, and you do want it to be stretched out as much as possible because it has to be lighter over the eyes, so and as well as the mouth a little bit, so it becomes easier to see through and to breathe through, right? Spandex is thick. Once again, my first time around, I actually stretched the fabric out for about 5 days. I wrapped it around my laundry basket, and I abused the fabric for as long as I could before I realized so you want it to nicely just, wrap around, and you will start where the eyes are. So stretch it out as much as you can with as few wrinkles or creases as possible. My suggestion is all the gluing will be done at the back, more or less here. Once in a while you will get portions during which you actually have to pull and glue in the side, but to get the smoothest possible mask, you have to glue inside and not on the outside itself. So first thing you want to do is you want to glue one point here. So let's do that right now. Tacky glue takes a while to set, so just hold it down and don't let it shift. The first portion is important. It has to be very, very stable because you will be stretching this thing. Another reason why you don't want to glue on the front of the mask is because the glue will bleed through the spandex and it won't look nice. It's a waiting game. Okay, so it's not exactly dry yet, but it's pretty dry. When the second portion you have to glue is on the opposite end, obviously. I've actually lined the entire one side, which is completely fine. That is where you want to start out. But before you decide to pull the spandex over to glue, the first thing you do is you need to stretch it out and actually place the mask over your face and try to adjust the section so that you can actually see through more or less pretty well. So this will actually give me good visibility, as you can tell, and it's still pretty opaque. You can't see my eyes or anything. So it's okay if stuff gets wrinkled because you can just pull this back and adjust later. It's just the eyes are one of the most important parts right now. Oh, and earlier, I guess during the quick time lapse, I actually did cut along the seam of the spandex so that you get one flat piece. It's just easier that way. Now, this is a really important part, so you will have to keep your fingers on the spandex while it dries. It's okay if you glue over the string holes right now because we can just cut through the fabric later. So yeah, you just want to pull the spandex on the inside. So we've basically just covered the most important part of the mask, which is basically the eye holes. See, so now like it looks like something now, doesn't it? The most important part is just make sure that you can see well through it. And I can see well. I can see fairly well. For example, I can see my keyboard, I can see my screen, the things on my screen, but I just can't make out like text. So it's a generally good visibility considering that your eyes are covered. Um, if you pre-stretch your spandex a lot more, and perhaps you use a hot glue gun or you spend more time letting it dry, you will get excellent visibility, but not a big deal right now. So Once you have this, you generally have a good idea of how much you need to fold, how much you need to pull, right? So the top looks nice and smooth. The bottom is fine too. You can add a little bit of the bottom, simply so you can fold it to rest your chin if you need to. So you can cut the mask, the spandex now, to get the length that you need. So let's do that. The easiest way to do this is like this setup. You see, you put the mask face down. Since you already have this part glued in, you know that everything to the side of it is superfluous. But always give yourself like a little bit of extra anyway. So you have quite a bit of extra to work with now. This is spandex, so basically all you need to do is pull as you determine where it needs to go, so you don't get like wrinkles down here. Up here is pretty easy, you know. The bottom is probably more important. The top is not so bad because you will have a fedora covering the top, so that's fine. So yeah, the bottom is the most important one. The trick is basically just the trick is pulling, honestly, because it is spandex. So this is when you want to start freeing up the elastic string. So just a quick slice just to free it up. You don't have to cut more than one. It also helps to make sure that the side is smooth because you're breaking up the fabric, and because it is spandex, it does need to stretch. So alright, hi guys. So I had to go to bed. Right. So after you pull everything in and you glue things in, right? This is what the inside should look like. So you have some loose ends. This is what the outside should look like. Oh my god, isn't that amazing? It's so All you need to do is trim all the loose ends. No big deal. Let's do that now. Okay, it's pretty good. So yeah, more or less neat on the inside. So now I warn you, when you put it on, it will only partially cover. There we go. I am now faceless. But as you can see, it's not perfect. So this is where hair comes in. Also, spandex in my mouth. So what you can do is, with tied up hair, it's not such a big deal. But it's easy to cover up with hair that's let go. So just let some of the front part out there, and there you go. So it's pretty natural looking, but obviously this will actually be held in place once you put the fedora on, so I'm gonna do that right now. So just tuck it in, and there you go. I am now Renee Montoya, fucking A. Oops, I shouldn't have sworn, but yeah. And the hair nicely covers up the side, so it looks pretty good. And well, the only problem, once again, is that it may not match your skin tone, but you know, you deal with the hand you're dealt. If you consider using stockings, maybe a tan darker color over, you could try that out. It may not give you the effect you desire, so you'll have to, you know, try a few techniques. Once again, whoops. Oh, and also, if in the event your mask is not big enough, or like it doesn't, what you can do is you can actually cut the inside of the mask itself so that it can easily expand. So yes, this is how to make a question mask or a faceless mask.